Hi everybody, it's Kate Luella from Blogger Interview Podcasts. This is brought to you by productcreatorshub.com, and today I'm very excited to tell you we have an interview with a young chap, and when I say young, he's only 20. So he still can't drink alcohol, I pointed out, because he's from California in Los Angeles in America. And he, a really interesting guy. He's a writer. He's an author, obviously. He also runs his own company. He creates music. He's going to release an album soon. He's so young. And I think one of his most impressive accomplishments is his company, which does a lot of charity work and things like that, which we do briefly discuss. And, of course, his writing is his passion at the moment and his focus as well. His current book, Zephyr, The West Wind Final Edition, is part of his Chaos Chronicles, which he's releasing, which will be 5 books. This is his first one. He's got another one coming out soon. And he mentioned that he launched it from this interesting site. I think he called it Wattpad or something. I can't remember what he said, but I'll put it in the show notes. It's a great place where you can actually release chapters and people can see it. And he said that's how his publisher found him. Isn't that interesting? You know, so for people who want to self-publish, if you want to go that way, because I know a lot of people want to self-publish, just direct on Amazon, keep all the money. But, you know, he's doing book tours and things like that. So incredibly interesting, guys. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to get straight into the interview. Okay, here's RJ talking about his life and his business. Okay. Wanted to ask you, can I just ask you, what does RJ stand for? Is that like a trade secret or?
No,
is that...
it stands for Ronald Jr. I'm actually a second, but I just put Junior in there because it made more sense.
Right, okay. Made you sound more junior.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to do either because you're like 18 or something, aren't you?
I just turned 20.
20. Oh my gosh. So look, I would love to just talk to you briefly about what you've got going on because you've just released a book and I wanted to ask you about that. Now this is a fiction book, is that right?
Yeah, it's a fantasy book. It's same genre as Harry Potter and Chronicles of Narnia and things like that.
Right. What inspired you to write that? Is that something you've always wanted to do, or did perhaps, you know, what's the name of that film you just mentioned? Did they inspire you to create your own, or?
I guess writing has always been my passion since I learned to write sentences, like, you know, 15 years ago or so. And so
Yeah.
Since then, I've just been writing stories. Zephyr turned out to just really be the first story that I could finish and really was just good enough for me to actually try and see what people thought of it. And so I guess that's where that really got started.
Right. And how long's Zephyr been out?
It's been out, let's see, for about 7 months or so.
Wow. And do you have a follow-up planned? Is that what you're doing with that? Like you called it here Chaos Chronicles, is that right?
Yeah, it's a series. It's a 5-book series at the moment. It has the sequels going to be coming out in the fall.
Wow. Okay. So you do have sequel. Oh my goodness. That's just amazing. And just can't believe someone so young is just so creative. And I noticed on your blog, you've got music as well. So obviously you're really quite artistic and, you know, established too. So can you tell me, how did you go about getting your book published? Did you go and write it and then approach a company, or did you get it online yourself first, or what happened there to get it going?
Sorry, with my book or my company? I think you said.
No, sorry, with your book.
Oh,
with
my
your
book. Well, with my book, I actually I started posting. I started writing the book through chapters, and with each chapter, I posted them on a website called Wattpad, which is pretty much YouTube for books. And so I posted them on this website, and so I had over 40,000 people reading my book from the beginning, and then by the end of the book, I actually had like 40 million people. Or sorry, not 40 million, 4 million people reading it or so a day, who really, really got into the book and read it every time I posted a chapter. And from there, one of those fans, I guess you can call them, was one of my publishers. And so I really moved on through that. The website helped me, and I got found through the website, Wattpad.
Wow. Okay, so what's the name of that site that you said? Wattpad, was it?
Yeah, Wattpad, Wattpad. It's like I said, YouTube for books. It has millions of readers of all ages, all genres, everything, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, you know what? I've never heard of it, so now I'm going to go have a look at it because that sounds amazing. But does it do nonfiction as well, or just fiction?
It has nonfiction and fiction and
Right.
everything. Yeah.
Just everything. Okay, I must go see that. And what about the music side then? Is that something that you're just sort of exploring now, or has that always been a goal as well of yours?
Well, I actually I did an internship recently last summer in Boston, a musical internship where I composed classical music and I wrote it and conducted it. And from there, before that, I had been taking music theory classes and all that kind of stuff. And I played piano, guitar, and bass guitar when I was younger, but I always created music. And most recently, I'm going to have an album coming out next year. That's going to be a pop and house album at the moment. So, yeah.
So what are you doing? Like, okay, so with your music, you've got that on your blog because I've seen some, and I listened to it. It's like nightclub. Is it nightclub music? Can I say that? Is that bad?
No,
You know, like it's that doof. We call it in Australia, we call it doof music.
okay.
Yeah, where you go doof.
That's cool. No, I mean, it's called, what you call it, it's kind of a combination of pop and house music. So the house side would be the nightclub music, and then the pop would be more like the generic top songs that are out there in general.
Right. Okay. Yeah, house music. I have heard of that
Yeah.
term, but yeah, that's right. See, I'm past that. That's why I'm on the wrong side of 40, so everything goes downhill for me. That's all
No
right.
way.
I remember my 20s well. Trust me. Well, not that well, but anyway. Um, so so that's fine. So you want to do music, and is that kind of? I mean, I know you said you did an internship and stuff for music. Is that really what you're studying? Like, what is your typical degree or whatever it is you're doing at uni?
Well, at university, I'm actually studying political science and English, a double major in that. And so I'm actually not really studying music. It's more of uh, I guess you could call it a hobby, but I'm actually, working in the studio and stuff like that. But my focus is political science and English at the moment.
See, that's interesting because you're not really studying something that would quintessentially launch you into what you're already doing, which is creating and writing and stuff like that. So I wonder, is that intentional, just to get a wide variety of training, or did your mum and dad say, "Now you go do English," and
Um,
is that?
no, my parents have been really supportive, and they just let me kind of do my own thing, which is luckily because I turned out like how I have now. But I, it's actually more of the fact that I like to broaden my horizons constantly as much as possible. So
Mm.
political science is one of those things where I was never really interested in it until I came to college and I got into politics, and I kind of got involved through business, and so I get involved through political science and I learn about it. And so English actually is literature, and so I study that, and that actually relates to what I'm doing with my author stuff. But like I said, political science is more of my broaden my horizons, and I think it actually helps in business, and in general life to know politics and what's going on.
It makes you more wise,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah. So that's interesting. So but what's your career ambitions? I mean, I know they'll probably change, but today, if I said to you, where do you see yourself in 10 years? How would you answer that, if possible?
Um,
Or is it impossible?
oh, well, if I try, I could. I guess one of the things I would want to be doing is, rather than right now, as you know, I'm the CEO of a multi-divisional international company, but I want to be the CEO of a multi-divisional international corporation. So in essence, really just bigger than what I already have. Plus the fact that I also would like to be, something like a world-renowned author, where I have fans who really love my book, just like they love Harry Potter, and really make my story into a phenomenon.
So writing is a really big passion then for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So now, you touched on then that you're a CEO of a company. So can you tell me a bit about that? Is that your company?
Yes, I founded it back, let's see, in 2011. Um,
Okay.
and it has four divisions. It's like I said, multi-divisional. It has four divisions. They're all international. They all work and run internationally. And we have employees all over. And they're made up of RJ Inc., which is a web design company, or division, sorry. Forever Trust Charity, which is an international charity that works and has offices all over the world. Not currently in Australia yet, sadly.
Ah.
Hopefully soon.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
we also have our own company, International, which is a international tutoring business that tutors in 14 different languages and like 16 different dialects, and Universal Kingdom Print, which I'm actually a partner of, and it's been integrated into my company as a division, and it's a printing and publishing literary company.
Okay. Now, this is interesting. So you said you're the CEO of it. So you created it, I think you said in 2009. Is that right?
Actually, in 2011.
Sorry, 11, of course. So in 2011, you created this company with those goals, or has that evolved?
Oh, it's definitely evolved. I originally
Right.
um, created just RJT Inc., which is a web design company, and really I
Right.
created that just from the fact that I wanted more allowance when I was at school, and I really didn't want to ask my parents for money. I wanted to just be able to do things on my own and pay for my own things. And so I had to find
Yeah.
a way to really use my skills that I had, skills that could be used in the future as well, that are needed to make money, and so that I could be on my own. And so that's really how it first started, and it just evolved really with my other skills that I had over time, and getting experience and knowledge and everything, that I just built my company over time, and it's expanded.
Wow. That's incredible. I think at age 20, I was thinking about what color to dye my hair, and yet you're sort of thinking like sort of more so how I think now. Isn't that interesting? But that's just shows you've got entrepreneurship in your blood, obviously.
Thank you. Yeah.
I must mention you to John Lee Dumas. He does that show Entrepreneur on Fire, and you need to go on that show.
Thanks.
It's a podcast just like that, but he's in the US, so you don't have to. What time is it there in California right now?
It's actually 5:08 p.m. So it's
PM. Okay, that's not too bad.
is it morning there? I'm guessing.
Yeah, you can have a scotch now. Oh no, it's not legal there at 20. Is it to
No,
drink?
not yet.
Oh, bugger.
Not
You
here.
have to stick to drugs. I understand. No, that's fine. So look, this is really interesting though. And so now I do want to ask you, what do you do though? I mean, you say that you're the CEO for the design company, the charity, the importing and the publishing and printing, but what does that mean for you on a month-to-month basis? Do you have to have a meeting with people, or do you hire and fire? I mean, how does that actually equate?
Well, I do. I guess sadly, I do all three of those things. I hire
Okay.
people, and I sadly have to fire them.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
it is sad. I know the feeling. It's yeah.
Yeah, and I have meetings all the time. I actually had a meeting earlier today, which I usually have them in LA. Um, like I said, because the companies are international and the divisions are international itself, um, I have employees all over. For example, I have an employee in China. My secretary is actually in China right now, and so she works, there, and so I'm in California, and we have to actually have Skype meetings where we have all the directors and then all the assistants meet at one time and everything like that. So we use Skype a lot for that, and then we also have meetings here in LA as well as around the world.
Wow. So, okay, so like I wasn't prepared to interview someone who's so in depth, so complex. That's all right. I can rise to the occasion, RJ. You'll see. Um, so this is my last question with regards to your business. Is that going to continue to evolve? Are you going to keep adding to that? Or are you going to stick with what you got and make it 100% better? I mean, what's your goal with that business? Is that your lifeblood? Really, for money, it is, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I have two focuses in that essence. I have one. I have my own personal gain, which is just I want to be successful in life, just like everybody
Mm,
else usually wants to. And then from there, I also want to help as many people in need who don't have the opportunities that I have or we had in general.
mm.
Living in industrialized places. Excuse me. And so that's my charity right there, and that's why I really have that. But those are my two main goals, and over time, I would like to expand my company. At the moment, I don't have enough time in the day to even really handle what I
Mm.
already have. So
I was going to ask you how you do it all because it's a lot.
yeah, it is a lot, and
Oh,
I would love to expand, like I said, but I mean, I at the moment I think I'm gonna focus. I'm focusing more on just really getting these divisions that I already have to 100% running, and just they get once you start, it's more like a baby. Once you start them, they kind of expand on their own. So
hmm.
we'll see how that goes.
Okay. What is the charity though? Is that a specific one, or is it a group of issues that you deal with, or?
Forever Trust Charity is what it's called, Forever Trust. It really focuses in general on two main aspects, which are very general aspects. One is we donate, when we get money from a benefactor, we donate it and make sure that it gets to where that benefactor wants it and that there's no corruption involved, because
Right.
there's huge amount of corruption that goes on through this process. And so
Right.
the second thing we also do is we make sure and we excuse me, we run events like cancer walks, breast cancer walks, AIDS walks, things like that. And we also do food banks and projects. We build projects for homes all over the world, depending on where it is in specified areas, and we do what we can in areas that really need help.
Wow, that's a wide range. So how do you do that? You head up a committee, and I assume they're like volunteers, and then you say, right, this month we want to try and work on. I guess you have like one event a year, is that right? Where you're really trying to pour all the efforts into pulling off a successful awareness and money raising campaign. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of partners which is they're listed on our website, so it's over there. But we have a lot of partners that really support us, as well as we have a lot of volunteers and benefactors. We have over 150,000 volunteers that have been signed up in some way, and through that,
And you did that. You got them through your company.
yeah, I mean we
That's
do that,
amazing.
yeah, and that's what we focus. We actually have offices, like I said, around the world, and these offices are usually, I guess you could say, more developed countries, and they focus on getting volunteers. And then we have outposts in other countries where, I guess you can say, they're less developed, but they have more issues that we want to help combat. And so we send these people from our volunteers to these outposts to do work and to help.
Wow. That's quite amazing, Ronald. If I can call you that. No, I'm only joking. Um, that's amazing. I'm absolutely blown away, as I'm sure people listening to this will be, because, I've sort of stumbled across you, as I said, through your publicist, and I said, well, I have to see his blog. And your blog doesn't really say all this about you. It's kind of like a can of worms, so to speak. You dig deeper and there's more there. So that's incredible information. I just wonder, have you written a book sort of to tell people, to share that insight of your drive, because that's quite unique what you have. Have you ever thought about writing about your goals and how you're going about it, how you've achieved what you've achieved?
I haven't actually. I barely have time to think about anything anymore. But that's
Mm,
actually a good
mm,
idea. I mean, I guess I really am focusing just on the stuff that I'm doing, but I would love to do that eventually. And I think also the fact that I just love writing fiction so much, it really hasn't crossed my mind. Just because when I get the
yeah,
chance to write, I write fiction and fantasy, and I just love that
yeah.
imagination aspect. So.
So I mean, your writing of your fiction, it's an outlet for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be innovative and creative to make businesses that really work and do things. I believe so. I think fantasy and fiction, it's kind of the ultimate innovation and creativeness that you have to put into that kind of stuff, and so that helps cultivate my imagination really, and helps me in
Mm.
business and everything in general. It's really, yeah, an output, I would say.
So now you did mention you had a publishing company, didn't you? I wrote that down as you were talking. You said a publishing and printing. Is that right?
Yes.
In your corporation. So tell me, did that work? Did that somehow relate with your own book? Did you use that platform?
I actually was originally published under Amazon, through one of my
Right.
publishers under their actual publishing company, and through one of the editors who I knew. He actually didn't like what they were doing and how they ran things, so he came to me and asked me to be his first author. His name is Coop Sell, and he is the chief editor and publisher of Universal Kingdom Print, which is the publisher that we're talking about, division. And so I became the first full author under that publishing name, with a new final. It's called the Zephyr the Western Final Edition, which is the book that's under that, and it was the first book published by them. But we actually
Right.
have multiple books coming out now recently as we've evolved as a publishing company.
So is he this Coop Sal? Is he part of your printing and publishing company, or is that a different one? The Universal Kingdom. That's different, is it?
Yeah, Universal Kingdom is actually, they're actually, we've integrated it into RJTIO, which is the name of the whole company that hosts these divisions. And the reason we
Right.
did that is because they actually work very well connected together.
Okay. Yeah.
If you think about it, like, for example, a lot of authors need websites and they connect well with that. So we have a division that does websites, with the authors, as well as charity. A lot of authors and entrepreneurs, when they do charity, hopefully they do. And so through that, they're kind of all interconnected. Um,
Yeah, yeah, no, I can see that. And so, are you using social media much? I mean, I know you said you use that launch pad thing. I've written it down somewhere, on my little scrappy notes. But yeah, you said you use that other site to sort of seed your book idea and your chapters, and that's where the publisher found you. But do you use anything else like YouTube or Twitter or any of them?
Yeah, I use Twitter. I use Twitter. I don't know, a couple times a week usually. I kind of busy to too busy to just keep posting updates, but I like to because I get a lot of responses from my fans and stuff. I have Twitter. I have Instagram, Facebook, and let's see. I also have a YouTube channel. It's more really for showing the interviews and videos from my author talks and presentations and things like that, though.
Okay, great. Because I know a lot of like there's twins, Jack Scap. I don't know if I showed you that, but they just started doing like little YouTube videos every week about themselves going to uni. But eventually, they got picked up by a television show because they have like over 2 million followers and most of them are teenage girls. But anyway,
Yeah.
they were saying that it doesn't hurt that they're good looking, but you're good looking too, so that can work for you. But
Thank you.
see, I don't, yeah, but they're about your age. That's what I'm saying. And they threw in the university when they found they had this huge following. They capitalized that, and all the girls send in is underwear and lollies, and they read it out, on the show. That's why it's so funny. It's anyway, but they have this huge following. So I'm just thinking that's a great platform for a young person like you because you have the world at your feet, and I can see how girls would love that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If they like your book, that's a good thing, right? I mean,
yeah, thank you.
it's then up to you to get them into your charity work, go and set them straight, whatever you call it. But now that's interesting. And what else have you got then on the horizon? You said you got a new book coming out, you got a new album coming out next year. So what's in your next, sort of 3 months? What's on your plate right now? Is it just this book promotion? Is that?
Well, I'm actually I just got off my author tour, CEO and author presentation tour thing where I went around to schools and talked to them and did book signings and things like that. But at the moment, I'm taking a break for about a month and a half to focus mainly on doing, my work as a CEO, and then mainly to focus on the sequel of Zephyr the West Wind, which will be coming out in the fall. So I'm trying to get that done so it can come out,
Yeah. Do you live at home, or you don't live at home, do you?
Sorry?
Do you live at home with your parents?
No.
No. So, you're really. Do you drive a nice looking car? I mean, look, I'm just being silly, but you just seem like this quintessential, real rock star. So much potential and such a nice, like, I guess, altruistic business mind. So I'm very, very impressed. I'm sure other people will. So look, I do hope you put out a book because I would read that in a heartbeat. What motivates you? Do you have any authors that motivate you or people that inspire you? Is that?
Yeah, definitely. I have J.K. Rowling is for writing. J.K. Rowling is a big one. For
Right.
business, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Oprah, kind of, for charity work, Oprah, Ellen kind of thing going.
Yeah.
I also am really into metaphysics, so I have a lot of kind of unorthodox inspiration, people who inspire me, such as Aristotle and Plato and things like that.
Right. So do you study that? You would do that at study, wouldn't you, at school?
Metaphysics I actually studied on my own, and I started teaching
Right.
it at some of my own independent classes, which has slowly evolved.
Goodness me. You make people like me look really bad. But no, I mean, look, it's just wonderful. And it just shows how much good you can do if you can get together what you've got together and keep it moving forward, which obviously, you're going to do. I don't see how it can be bad for the world. Basically, it's going to be all good. So now, is there anything else you want me to touch on to discuss briefly before I wrap up the show? Or
I don't think so. I think you've done a very great job. So thank you again
no,
for
no,
having
my
me.
pleasure. Oh, look, I would have you every week if I could, but I know you'll be too busy. But I'll just stick to the boring bloggers. Not that there's anything wrong with boring bloggers; they're lovely people. They're people like me. But you're more sort of entrepreneurial than what I normally talk to, and that's fine. But now I've just put here your new book. We'll wrap it up with this. Are you going to are you going to do this launchpad thing again, or will you put chapters on your blog, or how can people get a taste of what that's going to be about?
Well, I think Launchpad would actually be a great name for it. It's called Wattpad.
Okay, what? Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I think I like Launchpad actually. It's a cool name.
Look,
Um,
it's early in the morning here, okay?
yeah,
There's no
definitely.
scotch here yet.
I understand.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not sure. I think I actually have a fan website which is made by fans, and there's also kind of an official one. And
So what's that called? Let me get that.
it's actually, if you just go to rjtolsen.com, which is my author and official
Right,
website,
great.
there's a fan page link, and it goes straight to that fan page in
Okay,
the fan
great.
website. And so it's interactive, and they have a lot of features, including new being able to see previews of a few of the beginning chapters of the next book, and being able to actually rate them and
Yes,
what people
fantastic.
think. So
Yep, absolutely. And I'll even look for that. You know what? My husband's a fantasy fan. It's just not my thing. But he will definitely read it. I'll tell him to read it. A few of my clients do fantasy books, and he reads them all. So
thank you.
we'll give you a review. Okay, are you going to put it on Amazon?
Yeah, the books. Well, the
Good.
second book is, yeah, definitely gonna be
Yeah,
on
the second
Amazon.
book.
It'll be
Yeah, definitely on
environmentals,
Amazon.
everything. Yeah.
Great. Well, that's where we'll put the review. Good book. good. Well done, RJ. You can do better next time, but it's okay. Something like that. Give you 3 stars. No, I'm only joking. But look, it was fantastic to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk to me, and I really look forward to watching your progress. I will be mentioning you to a few people and seeing if they'll have a chat to you, because I think you're more sort of a different demographic to mine, and I think that this will open their eyes to that. But that's all right. That's inevitable, I think, with someone like you. So
Really, thank you.
I really appreciate it. So look, I'll let you go now, and I will chat again to Sammy. I'll give her a copy of the interview in case she wants to listen. I hate listening to my own talking, but you might like it. I don't know. But we'll have it on YouTube, and it'll all be keyworded. So when they search your name on YouTube, they'll find it on iTunes. It'll be up on iTunes as well, which is awesome. So yeah, it'd be fantastic. So look, thank you again, and Wattpad. I'm going to go check it out now.
Okay.
Start recommending it to people. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, RJ. And one day when I'm in LA, I'll shoot you a tweet.
Definitely do so. Appreciate it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Chat later. Bye, mate.